Welcome back, Outliers, and thanks for joining us on this week's episode. I'm Sam Kukulis.
And I'm Mike Smith. There's a lot happening in this week's headlines. Right now, there's actually an uprising in the Ukraine. It's really always surprising how quickly these things can happen.
Very
What's
true.
the latest?
Massive fires are burning in central Kiev, a city in Ukraine. Tuesday was the worst day of violence since demonstrators first began in November. Anti-government protests continue and 25 people have been killed in clashes, including 7 police officers. Protesters set fire to the ruling party's headquarters and attacked police lines. Security services have announced an anti-terrorist operation. Tensions have subsided as a truce was established Wednesday morning.
We told you last week George Zimmerman will not be boxing in a match after it was canceled. With a little extra spare time, he sat down with CNN's Chris Cuomo for an exclusive interview. They discussed many things for the first time since the not guilty verdict, including if there was anything Zimmerman would like to say to the family. This is unedited.
I would say exactly what I said on the stand, that I'm sorry for their loss. And just exactly what I said on the stand, most likely.
For the full interview, head to facebook.com/theoutlierASU. And from one Florida case to another, the so-called loud music trial was coming to a close over the weekend, only to have it torn open once again. The jury deliberated a total of 30 hours when they finally gave a verdict to the judge. Michael Dunn is at the center of all of this. He is accused of fatally shooting 17-year-old Jordan Davis over loud music coming from his car at a Florida gas station. The jury convicted him on 3 counts of attempted murder and another for firing into an occupied vehicle. But there was a 5th count the jury could not agree to convict him on, first-degree murder. Because of this, the judge declared a mistrial on that count. As for the lesser counts, Dunn faces at least 60 years in prison. Florida State Attorney Angela Corey, the prosecutor in the George Zimmerman trial, indicated she would seek a retrial on the count.
If you are an avid microwave user or just a college student on a budget, listen up. Hot Pockets have recalled their Philly steak and cheese sandwiches. The popular snack may contain meat that has already been recalled by the USDA. No illnesses have been reported, but customers can return the Hot Pockets to the place where they bought them from for refunds. There have been no reports of other flavors of Hot Pockets being affected. For more information on the recall, customers can call 1-800-392-4057.
President Obama has vowed to make 2014 a year of action, promising to take steps if Congress fails to enact his agenda.
We're going to double the distance our cars and light trucks can go on a gallon of gas by 2025. We're going to double it.
He announced plans to move forward with his new fuel standards for medium and heavy-duty trucks as part of a multi-year effort to cut emissions and reduce oil usage. He may use his executive order privileges to drive around Congress to make this happen sooner. The plan is due in March of next year. In it, the president is going to urge the EPA and Transportation Department to come up with new standards by 2018.
After 42 years on the West Coast, The Tonight Show has its debut this week, back where it all began. My home, the Big Apple. To commemorate the show's history, it airs in the same studio used by Johnny Carson at Rockefeller Center, Studio 6B. Host Jimmy Fallon kicked off the show this week, and the word to describe it all, success. Fallon even made a point to call out the friends that didn't believe he would ever host.
And to my buddy who said that I'd never be the host of The Tonight Show, and you know who you are, you owe me $100, buddy. You do. We do have...
Thanks for bringing...
The parade of Hollywood stars are only the first of many to appear on the show in the coming episodes. We here at The Outlier wish Jimmy the very best as he continues his late-night career.
With a look at the other headlines from the week, we turn to Mariah Hurst with your PDQ News.
President Obama signed an executive order to raise minimum wage to $10.10. This could reduce poverty, but also projects job loss. By the second half of 2016, the Congressional Budget Office estimates that 500,000 jobs will be lost, but 900,000 families will be lifted out of poverty. Facebook is expanding its mobile messaging network and agreed to buy WhatsApp in a deal worth $19 billion. Under the terms, Facebook will pay $4 billion in cash and $12 billion in stock. WhatsApp is used by more than 450 million people and allows users to send text messages for free over the internet. A funeral was held Tuesday for a well-known reality TV star from Kentucky. Pastor Jamie Coots died from a bite he received while handling a snake during his sermon last Saturday. Comcast, the largest cable company in the country, has agreed to buy the second largest cable company, Time Warner Cable. The $45 billion deal is waiting for approval from the Justice Department, but should take effect by the end of the year if approved. That's a look at some of the top headlines for the PDQ this week. I'm Mariah Hurst. Back to you at the desk.
If someone told you they killed more than 20 people, would you believe them? That's a dilemma police in Sunbury, Pennsylvania are facing involving a teenager. It all started when Miranda Barber gave an interview to a local paper late last week. She claimed to have killed around 24 people in different states. Barber's husband was asked about her claims Monday as he was led into the police department for questioning. He didn't give a clear indication about what he knows or what he thinks about the claims against his wife. Sunbury Police Chief Stephen Mazzio listened to the interviews from Barber and says he's treating everything seriously until proven otherwise. A district attorney in the area says he's skeptical of the claims, saying law enforcement agencies where Barber has lived haven't received any information verifying what she said. To add to all the strangeness of all this, Barber says she stopped counting the number of people she's killed after 22.
Sounds like real life Dexter to me. It may not be the Jetsons, but the show's futuristic world may be closer than we think. Nike is planning to manufacture self-tying shoes, and reports say Nike designer Tinker Hatfield confirmed the news during an appearance in New Orleans last week. Michael J. Fox's character in the movie Back to the Future 2 wore similar self-tying Nike mags in the movie, which was plotted in 2015. The company released Nike mags on eBay back in 2011, but the shoes didn't have the lace-up technology. Reports say Nike's real-life self-tying shoes are also to be released in 2015.
10 out of 10 would buy. A rather terrifying incident over Europe this weekend when a co-pilot hijacked his own plane. This is video of the Ethiopian Airlines jet after it landed in Geneva. There were more than 200 passengers and crew members on board. Fortunately, no one was hurt in all of this. Swiss police say the Ethiopian hijacker wants political asylum. The plane was originally heading to Rome.
Lots of news happening around the world. With a check of headlines, we have Tatiana Garcia. Tatiana?
Thanks, Sam. While she cannot drive a car in her own country, Samaya Jabarti will soon be leading a newspaper in the Middle East. She will become the editor-in-chief of English language Saudi Gazette, a publication that has a circulation of around 47,000. The former chief says this role is not about gender, but rather merit. Social media has praised the decision, but Jabarti says she is unfazed. No word yet on her official start date. And of course, we have a little time for some puppy news. Gus Kenworthy took silver in the slope-style skiing as part of a USA medal sweep, but it looks like he may also be bringing home some pups. Kenworthy is getting a lot of attention for wanting to adopt a group of stray puppies he found in Sochi. The Olympic host city is overrun by the stray dogs, and there are currently a couple initiatives in the works to help them find homes. And that's what's going on in the world. I'm Tatiana Garcia with International News.
If you're feeling lucky and want to test your luck, consider buying a Powerball ticket for the drawing tonight. The winning ticket has the chance to win $400 million. This is the 6th largest Powerball jackpot in history, with a payout reaching $230 million. Test your luck with this jackpot because the odds of winning the big prize are 1 in 175 million.
Winner. Having one baby is pretty cool. Good for you. Having twins is double the fun, obvi. Having triplets is apparently all smiles and adorableness, according to Martha Sigalski's Facebook page. Shout out to my internship. But 4 babies, that's quite a shock, and that's exactly how one Mississippi woman felt when they just kept coming out.
They just decided that morning they were coming. They said, more feet. And more feet. That's all I heard, and I said, no.
Well, we know who the least favorite child is. All 4 identical baby girls are healthy. Doctors say the chance of having quadruplets is 1 in 729,000 births. The chance of having identical quadruplets, naturally without drugs nonetheless, is incalculable, says doctors. There are about 50 to 60 cases worldwide. Fugate and her husband also have a 10-year-old daughter.
With a look at the world of politics, here's Nick Wixman.
Thanks, Sam. Late last year, President Barack Obama openly stated that he believes pot is no more harmful than alcohol. Well, the Justice Department seems to be agreeing with the president as it loosened the restrictions on financial institutions by allowing banks to do business with legal marijuana dealers in Colorado and Washington, where the drug is obviously legal, and in 18 other states where the drug is legal for medical use. The DOJ has described a few situations in which it would be illegal for banks to do business with pot dealers. Listen to this. First, if you distribute to children, obviously don't ask for a bank's help. How about this one? If you're working with or for a drug cartel, don't ask for a bank's help. And third, if you traffic marijuana to places where marijuana is illegal, guess what? You can't use a bank. This memorandum points out that if banks make sure the marijuana dealers are not committing any federal crimes, like the ones I just named, they are free to do business with the retailers. The legal marijuana industry has been a cash-only industry to this point, and this change in policy could make the industry more legitimate financially. Now, from being high to flying high, October of last year, the Federal Aviation Administration sent out a press release in which they said that unless otherwise proven to be dangerous, cell phones and other electronics could be used during flights, as long as they're in airplane mode. Well, that policy received a little push forward last week as the House Transportation Committee approved a bill that accepted the lifting of the cell phone restrictions. The bill does, however, place a restriction on making and receiving phone calls because they can be annoying. Representative Bill Schuster of Pennsylvania's 9th District said passengers should tap, not talk. Now, I don't know about you, I'm a little out of breath here, but that was too much serious content. Let's lighten it up a little here. Here are top 3 tweets from senators throughout #Snowmageddon. 49 of 50 states had snow this past week. Leave it up to the outspoken Florida Senator Marco Rubio to rub it in. Yes, Mr. Rubio, you may be the only state without snow, but it's going to be 77 and sunny here in Phoenix without 98% humidity. How about this one from New York Senator Chuck Schumer, whose legislative director decided to go into survival mode and instead of taking the day off, strapped on some snowshoes and braved the storm. And finally, a tweet from Minnesota Congressman Eric Paulson, who shows us that we're all weenies for thinking this is a big snowstorm because he's feeling right at home. I'm Nick Wixman. Back to you at the desk.
A new report from the U.S. Postal Service shows that Americans love getting their mail daily. The Inspector General's office posed questions to focus groups nationwide. In the report, Americans said they would rather the post office stay the way it is once people in the survey understood that the agency is not taxpayer funded. However, respondents did say they would favor expanding the services of the office, such as paying traffic tickets and providing licenses. Currently, the Postal Service agency is in a financial bind due to debts owed to the retiree fund.
I wish I got more mail. With the latest in the world of sports, as well as the Olympics, we turn to Patrick Wagner.
Thanks, Mike. Sunday will mark the end of the 2014 Winter Olympics. But before we get there, several medals are left to be handed out. Curling, cross-country skiing, men's and women's hockey, and a little figure skating thrown in. But before that, let's look at the current medal standings. In third place this week is the Netherlands, who is the only country to repeat in our last medals race from last week. They have 22 medals, 6 of which are gold. Coming in second today is the host country, Russia. They too have 22 medals and 6 gold, but edge out the Netherlands for second with 7 silver medals. And the first place, the US of A, holding on with 23 medals with 7 gold. This week's U.S. gold medals have come from the ice dancing event, the men's ski slopestyle, the men's ski halfpipe, and coming just today, the men's giant slalom. Honorable mention this week is gold medal leader Norway with 9 gold in Sochi. Coming into the final weekend, the table has been set for what might be the most interesting event yet, men's hockey. The gold medal game may be on Sunday, but the most interesting matchup may be taking place in the semifinal round on Friday, as the USA will take on Team Canada in a rematch of the 2010 gold medal game. With both teams loaded to the brim with NHL talent, Canada almost being tripped up by Lithuania in the quarterfinal, and the U.S. blowing teams out of the water, this could be one for the ages. And with the Vancouver gold going to Canada, the Americans will have something to prove. That's what's happening in Sochi. Back to Sam and Mike at the desk.
It's about time we're finally leading the world in medals once
Right?
again. Also, the word slalom.
It's weird, right? It's like slip of sloth.
I hate it.
I don't like it.
I'm not the biggest fan of it.
No, me
It's
either.
neat, but not my favorite. I'm Mike Smith.
And I'm Sam Kukulis. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, why be normal when you could be an outlier?